What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first episode of our new podcast. We are Frontline Film. We've tried this a couple times and never really been consistent at it, but we are going to give it another go. We both have a little bit more rhythm in our lives now, so we're going to try to crank one of these out a week for everyone listening, watching, whatever you may be doing. Quick intro. I'm Cole. This is Landon or Wilk or Wilkie, whatever you want to call him. Um, and basically, what this podcast is going to be is we are just going to talk movies for like an hour or an hour and a half every week, or every 2 weeks, whatever we end up deciding to do. But yeah, just talk about movie news, movie reviews, maybe do some like fun little drafts. Just literally anything related to movies and TV, entertainment, pop culture, things like that. It's basically our hour or hour and a half of the week to nerd out and just talk about movies. So, um, Landon, do you want to say hello?
Hello, hi everyone.
Um, so yeah, I hope you guys like. If you guys have any ideas, put it down in the comments. Let us know. Uh, yeah. So Frontline Film, episode one, take 3 or 4, but it's gonna
It's,
stick this time.
it took us forever to actually get this working, but we finally got it working.
Hey,
It's not
hey,
going to
we
be
did.
perfect,
It's not gonna
but
be great, but we're gonna do our damnedest.
that's right.
All right. First thing on the agenda is a great, great thing. I think probably both yours and mine most anticipated movie of the foreseeable future is The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan. Just like a week or two ago, we got the news that Christopher Nolan's next movie was going to be an adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey, which is absolutely sick. The cast is stacked so far. You got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, I think Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o. I'm definitely missing some others. Can you think? Zendaya.
Zendaya, is it? Mhm.
Um, was Pattinson in it? I can't remember. It's
I
just
feel like I feel like Robert Pattinson was casted,
maybe
if
he
I
was.
remember
I don't know.
correctly.
It's an absolutely stacked cast. It's Christopher Nolan. It's Greek mythology, action, mystical, epic. Um, I am absolutely locked in for this, and I cannot wait. It is definitely shot to number one on my most anticipated list. Um, I'm excited to see what Christopher Nolan can do with this because he's obviously the man. He's proven it time and time again. And I know I speak for you as well. Like we love Greek mythology growing up, the Percy Jackson books, Heroes of Olympus. So like this is sick. This is going to be right up our alley, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, when Oppenheimer was first announced, remember when we knew it was going to be Christopher Nolan, it was going to be 3 hours. We were both like, "Holy cow!" Like you can't have a better director do a movie like that. And I definitely speak for you and I my like Christopher Nolan is our favorite director, probably. He doesn't seem to miss. We
Most
like
likely.
all of everything in his filmography. And it really is a story that I think he is the perfect guy to bring to life. And he's gonna get the right people to play the characters that he wants to play. Sorry, my cat's in here. But can you stop? But anyways, yeah, like Christopher Nolan, I think is the perfect person to do this. And I read a dumbed down version of the Odyssey in probably my freshman year of college, sophomore year of college. So I didn't get the whole thing, but it is one of the most famous stories or tellings or books, whatever you want to call it, because I know it's an epic poem, whatever, of all time. And this is a story that, you know, means a lot to a lot of people, and it's in literature itself is just so big. And I mean, Christopher Nolan being able to do whatever he wants to do, because I'm sure the
Oh, the
whatever
budget,
studio
I
is
think the
doing it.
budget was like 250 mil. It's the most he's ever been given to make a movie. And he was able to make Oppenheimer like under 100 million and like even some of his other movies, like Interstellar and Inception, like more visually crazy movies, he didn't spend that much money. So
Yeah.
with $250 million, I don't know what this man's gonna do. I think
And
we're gonna see God.
it'll easily make that because of the cast itself and Christopher Nolan itself. Like it will easily make that money back, whether it's good or not. But I have everything to believe that it's going to be good because it's Christopher Nolan and everything he touches seems to turn to gold. And some people like even with Interstellar, my cat's about to walk in front of my camera. Hey, can you not go ahead and talk? I got to get him out of here.
Um, yeah, I mean, just kind of reiterate everything you're saying. Hey, Nugget, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Look at this guy. Yeah, with $250 million, it's gonna be insane. They're like developing a new IMAX film camera technology. Curious to see how he can even raise the bar even more after what he's already done. It's been ridiculous. Um, and yeah, who do you think is gonna play Odysseus? You think it'll
So
be
I saw,
Tom? I don't know.
dude.
I don't know if it'll be
Okay,
Tom because there's a lot of other big leading
I
people in this movie.
what
Maybe
I
Matt Damon.
saw, what I saw was Matt Damon. What I saw, but that's a
Hey,
rumor. We don't know.
well, hey, I'll take it.
He
Shout
hasn't
out Matt Damon.
he hasn't given Matt Damon the lead yet, right?
Nope, nope.
But he's been,
Obviously he's in Interstellar, and then he's in he plays a pretty big role in Oppenheimer, but
he's
yeah,
not the main
this is
character.
Matt Damon's movie. I'm locked in. I think he's a very underappreciated actor. Like
Underappreciated.
Tom Holland and Zendaya, like they're huge up and coming younger. Even Robert Pattinson to an extent, if he's even in this movie, I can't remember. But
I think
Lupita
he is.
Nyong'o, Anne
Mhm.
Hathaway, like they're all great, and I feel like get the attention they deserve. Matt Damon's one of those guys that kind of flies under the radar, and dude is so good. So yeah, to see him leading what could potentially be like one of the biggest movies of all time is going to be sick.
Is it going to be
So
over under 3 hours?
over. Or I saw some people saying, I know it's not really like how Christopher Nolan likes to do, but like maybe splitting it up into two parts because it's a long story.
Yeah,
Do you
I
think about
mean,
it? The Odyssey next to the Bible, is it like the most famous story ever? I think it probably is.
so the fictional, I think it is behind Journey to the West, but it is second. I think you can
Yeah.
fact check me, but I think it's Journey to the West and then uh the Odyssey.
Well, it's up there.
Pretty strong too. So
Yeah. So yeah, needless to say, we are both locked in for this. I cannot wait. It's like July of 2026. It's gonna be insane. Gonna be insane. Cannot wait for that.
mhm,
Anything Daddy Nolan sends my way, I'm gonna eat it up.
that's right.
Um, so yeah, some other big news kind of also happened a couple weeks ago, but just wanted to talk to you about it a little bit more. The Superman trailer. James Gunn's Superman, the first film of the DCU, coming out later this year, June or July. It's David Corn Sweat, obviously, I said directed by James Gunn. Um, Looks really solid so far based off the teaser trailer. I feel like it didn't give like hardly anything away. James Gunn has said it's not entirely an origin story because we've heard it so many times. So, um, hey, anything James Gunn does in regards to superhero films, like sign me up.
What I'm not gonna take shots today because it is our first episode, but I do want to say that I'm on right now Snyderverse Twitter, and the amount of hate that they have sent towards anything James Gunn DCU, it's a lot. So I will say
I,
that I'm not
I haven't
gonna.
really seen much hate towards James Gunn, but I saw like people saying it like looked too colorful. But like that's what I want in a Superman movie. He's like literally the most bright superhero in comics, like the bright red and the bright blue. Like that's what you want. You want a big, colorful, like bombastic superhero adventure for arguably probably the biggest super. I mean, he is Superman. He's not necessarily my favorite, but like he's probably like the most important superhero, you know? in
Well, when
regards to
everybody thinks of a superhero, and they let's say they haven't seen Marvel like the MCU or anything like that, a lot of people are going to say Superman. I would say a high number of people are going to say Superman, and I just think this is a perfect way. Now I know Creature Commandos is like technically the start of the DCU, whatever, but
and
like this is
I
the
have not started that yet, but I'm going
I
to.
haven't either. But I will say that Superman, you want to start your universe with Superman. It doesn't make sense to start it with anybody else.
Yep,
So, I mean,
agreed.
I am excited. I agree with you. There's a lot of different colors that are very visually pleasing. You and I love the Guardians movies, and we love the Guardians movies because
Those are
they
just like
are,
eye candy.
yeah, they're pleasing to look at. And
Yep.
whether he's a good Superman or not, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean,
He looks the part.
I like we do all have this obsession with like familiarity where we see Henry Cavill, we want him to be Superman, but that's not always going to be the case. Just like with Iron Man, if we were to ever get another Iron Man movie in our lifetime, it's
Not
not
gonna
going
be
to
the
be Robert
same.
Downey Jr.
Yep.
So, I mean, it looks, I think it looks fun, which my thoughts on Man of Steel, I think, and Batman versus Superman. I just would like him to be. I want the suit popping with color. In the comics, it does that, and not to say Zack Snyder's is bad. I just,
It's
I
just
just want a little
different.
bit more color. That's all.
Yeah. No, man, I'm pumped. Anything James Gunn does, like he's gonna. I mean, he doesn't have a miss when it comes to comic book movies, like the Guardians trilogy, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, like you name it.
Hmm.
He's the guy. So if he's starting off this new DCU with the probably biggest superhero name, um, sign me up. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see what he does and ready to see like what we're about to get out of the DCU and maybe, over the next couple of years they can start giving Marvel a run for their money. Because not gonna lie, Marvel's kind of just been stagnant the last couple of years with the exception of a couple things. But post Endgame it just hasn't been too
We'll
great
talk
for
about it.
Marvel.
There's
So
plenty to talk about with Marvel.
so yeah, so we'll kind of see with DC. I wish we knew who was going to be Batman. We don't know yet. There's rumors that like they're going to try to bring Pattinson over into the DCU, but I don't want that. I don't want it. I think that needs to be separate. I mean, if they can make it work, I do trust James Gunn, but like I don't know. I kind of want
Um,
that to be its own separate thing.
Another thing from the trailer that I want to say is Nicholas Holt had a really good year in 24.
Oh,
I
dude,
will
yeah.
say. Um, I will talk about Nosferatu later. Juror number two, and there's another big one that I'm missing off the top of my head. Help me out. Juror number two, uh, Nosferatu. He's in the menu as well, which I like that movie.
I
I
mean,
think it's
yeah, that came out last year.
yeah. But while you're looking that up, Nicholas Holt was great in Nosferatu, which again we'll talk about later. But him as Lex Luthor, I kind of love because I just like Nicholas Holt in general.
And dude, he
Um,
looked good.
yeah, I think he looked like the scenes that they showed in the trailer. Like he genuinely hates Superman. Like it looks like he absolutely hates him. So I
Oh, it
think that
was
would
the
be
order. It was the order.
yeah,
That
yeah.
movie. I
So
have not seen that. It looks sick though. It just
yes,
wasn't really like playing in theaters. But yeah.
he had a big year, and I like him as an actor. I think
Hmm.
he's someone that I just think he's consistent with everything he does. So I'm
I was
excited for
actually
him to be
listening.
Lex
I was
Luthor.
listening to Lights Camera Marshall, and they were saying the same thing. Like
Yeah.
he's like one of the most consistent actors. Like he was good in the X-Men movies. He's been good in like pretty much everything you see him in. So yeah, love that. Glad they're bringing Lex Luthor back. Not Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor. That was a little rough, but
He gets a little too much hate, but I do understand
I don't know. I don't love it, but
that's
hey,
fair.
Nicholas Holt, David Corn Sweat. What's her name? Rachel Brosnahan
Yep.
as Lois Lane. Yeah, yeah. Looking forward to the start of the DCU. Hopefully it lives up to our expectations, and hopefully just superhero movies in general start like coming back and being good again. I know the first test of that, we can kind of talk about it for a minute, is gonna be Captain America, Brave New World coming out in February. And I was talking to Will literally a couple days ago about this. Like, I think it's the most important superhero movie to come out in a minute because I think post Endgame, outside of like three, maybe four movies, Marvel has not been on a roll. Its biggest ones were No Way Home, which is nostalgia, Deadpool and Wolverine, which is nostalgia, and Guardians 3, which is James Gunn, and it's like the ending to that story. So like also kind of sort of nostalgia in a way. So its three strongest projects are rooted in that and nothing really new and fresh. So this is like the first big name hero to get a movie, I feel like, post Endgame, other than Thor, but that movie sucked kind of. So um but yeah, the new Captain America, Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, like this movie has to be good. It has to be good, or I think Marvel might be dead. And that breaks my heart to say. And I know it breaks your heart because we love Marvel so much. But
He
like,
said he used the D word. Marvel
yeah,
might
dude, I
be
think it could be. I
dead.
think it could be, man. Like if it's bad, like I don't see like I don't know. The only thing like I said, their biggest successes over the last 2 or 3 years were kind of nostalgia rooted. I feel like, without with exception of Loki, and maybe a couple of their other shows that we enjoyed. But like in terms of Marvel movies, MCU movies, like this has to be good, or I think Marvel is gonna kind of start to spiral more than they already have.
So here's what I'll say.
The movie looks sick.
No,
I just hope that it actually is
we
sick.
I think we can talk about it more when we get closer to the actual movie. But here's what I'll say, and we can wrap this discussion up. But we had a show that was for kind of his transition to him being Captain America, right? Now, there are going to be people who did not watch the show that watched this movie. So I am curious to see how much time they harp on him growing into that Captain America character. When we did get 8 episodes, I think it was 8 episodes, 8 episodes of him doing that in the show. Now he had Bucky's help. I don't believe Bucky is in this,
I don't think
not
so.
that I've seen. Um, I do think the villain Red Hulk is going to be sick.
He looks sick. Harrison
Yeah,
Ford obviously is like one of the greatest actors of all time. Looks like he's been having a lot of fun with it. I don't think Red Hulk's going to be the true main villain. I know it's supposed to be like the leader. They're supposed to be bringing back, I think his name is like Tim Blake Nelson, who was in The Incredible Hulk briefly.
and then they
But
have Giancarlo Esposito's character as well.
yeah, I don't really
We
know much
talked
about his
about.
character. We'll see. I don't think Red Hulk's going to be like the main villain though. I feel
I
like that's
agree.
what they're trying to lead us to believe with all the marketing
Yeah,
in the trailers, but I don't think that's the case. So I hope it's definitely kind of more rooted like Winter Soldier and Civil War. That's the kind of vibes I got. Winter Soldier vibes every time I see the trailer. Like I think Winter Soldier, which is good. So I hope it stays that way.
I promise. Last thing. Also, you and I love Anthony Mackie and Sam Wilson as a character, so we're really hoping that he is is good in this role because I love him as Captain America. I think it's a
Anthony
great
Mackie's my
fit.
homie. We go way
Yeah,
back,
yeah, yeah.
actually.
You do.
Uh,
I love Sam Wilson, and I love Anthony Mackie. Because a lot of things, I think a lot of people, I actually don't know this. I'm just speculating. From people I talked to, they wanted Bucky to be the next Captain America. I
no,
love that they went Sam
I
Wilson.
literally remember talking to like Dad and I think Nubs and some other people and even you before um people like kind of speculated before Endgame came out that like a new Cap was going to be picked by the end of it, and I was like, dude, I want it to be Sam Wilson so bad.
Yeah,
I just think he would be great. Bucky's just his own character, and he's got I think like too dark of a past to be able to step into that role. I think Sam Wilson's perfect, and that scene at the end of Endgame when he hands him the shield is like literally still get chills watching it. Like incredible, incredible. So yeah, hopefully, it's one of the better movies since Endgame and can kind of kickstart this next wave of Marvel. We got that. We got Fantastic Four. We got Thunderbolts. Daredevil's coming out in a couple months. Um, so Marvel could be on the come up again. We'll see. We'll just have to see. Um,
Yeah, like you said,
yeah.
this is it, man. This one's got to be good.
Yep. It has to be good. Um, the next big piece of movie news, we literally just saw this like 2 days ago. Dune 4 is like basically been announced. It's in the works. Obviously they haven't even started on Dune Messiah yet, but I think Warner Brothers wants to do a fourth Dune, rightfully so, because everyone freaking loves it. But Denis Villeneuve, I don't really know how to say it. Villeneuve, I think is how you say it. Denis Villeneuve has said he would not be returning after Messiah. It's that's going to be his trilogy, and he's gonna just peace out, which I respect. It kind of scares me on like how that movie might be with no Denny. But I was talking to you about it the other day. Like if maybe they go with a different story. I've never read the Dune books. I don't know anything about them. I know there's a lot of them. I don't know if there's other stories outside of Paul Atreides and like that whole arc and everything, but uh, I mean, I'm all for as much Dune as you can give me now. Like Dune 2 is just, both of our favorite movies of 2024, and Dune Messiah is like the Odyssey's number one most anticipated. Dune Messiah is probably number two over the next couple years, like without a doubt. So, um, pumped for Dune Messiah. Dune 4 with no Denny, we'll just have to see. Maybe it's a new story. Maybe the Paul Atreides story will end and it'll be like its own concise trilogy. But yeah, we'll just have to see.
I Is it confirmed that they're absolutely doing a fourth one?
I think it is. I've seen
Okay.
a lot of stuff about it over the last couple days.
Okay. I was just wondering because like I know you sent me the tweet initially. I Just like Christopher Nolan did his Dark Knight trilogy, right? I mean, and he didn't do anything Batman after. I mean, Denis, do your story, do your three, make make them perfect the way you want them, and you never have to touch Dune again. Denis is also way like so talented that he can kind of. I mean, think about his other non-Dune projects, right? He has Sicario, he has Arrival. I mean, this
Prisoners, my personal
Prisoners.
favorite.
Like this dude is, he's good enough to like once he gets done with Dune, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go a different direction. So
Yeah. No, and
whatever
I'm
he
happy
wants to
for him
do,
like not feeling obligated to stay. He's going to tell a story he wants, and when he feels like that story is complete, like leave,
yeah,
go do your next awesome thing.
yeah,
I have it pulled up right now, like there's a whole lot of like credible sources saying that like Legendary and Warner Brothers are uh beginning to develop Dune 4 with or without Villeneuve. So Villeneuve, I don't know how to say his name. We're just gonna call him Denny. But yeah, he's might be like the sci-fi goat, man. I don't know. Um Dune Part 2 is obviously just unbelievable. That movie's unbelievable. Um, I don't just love Blade Runner 2049 that much, but he did that, and that movie is like visually one of the most beautiful movies ever. Arrival is a sci-fi movie. That movie slaps. So like all hail Danny, After what he gave us this year with Dune Part 2, like I'm with him for the rest of my life. Like, we were talking about how Nolan's probably like the best director, that our favorite director anyways. And then I would say probably like Tarantino and Spielberg are right up there, but you got to put Denny up there too, man. He's been so consistent. Everything he does is good. Even more grounded stories like Sicario and Prisoners, like so good.
hmm yeah,
So good.
um, yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, go do whatever you want. People are gonna watch your movies now. I mean, if people didn't know, which they probably did already with Arrival and Sicario, Prisoners, Blade Runner, like all of that, they already knew your name, but now they definitely know your name.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you are like everyone's going to know you, so you're going to put something out and people are going to go see it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't blame them for wanting to do more Dune. I mean, I again, like I haven't read the books, but I mean, if there's more stories to tell, people want to know, and um, don't go about it the way Star Wars has done it for so long and staying the same people. But that's a whole nother tangent that I'm sure we'll get on. But
One day. Yeah.
but yeah, there's more stories to tell, and I haven't watched Prophecy yet.
I haven't
Prophecy,
either.
yeah.
I was kind of waiting for it to all come out, and I think it like just finished airing recently. So definitely gonna get on that soon.
So we can watch that, and
We can kind of
uh,
talk about it. Yeah.
if that story's good, I mean, just keep going with it because Atreides might only be, Paul might only be a small portion of the story to tell in Dune. But if you can tell, you have three really good movies to tell his story, then so be it. Go do it.
Yep. Hey, all hail Danny. I trust him just like I trust Nolan. He's gonna make the right decision. Um, so yeah, with that, I mean, that's kind of a good segue into our next what we want to talk about. Well, we just kind of want to talk about some of our favorite movies and shows of the year. As we both said, both of our favorite movies, without a doubt, is Dune Part Two. Good Lord, I could go on and on about that movie. I could literally talk about it for hours. But we've already said it. Just unbelievable movie, unbelievable acting, the score, the visuals, the cinematography, the writing, the pacing, the action, the romance. Like, dude, it's hilarious. Like, it's got really funny moments. It's just such a good movie. It's a perfect movie. I literally texted you after I saw it, before you saw it, and I said best sequel of all time. And I still believe that. I know your favorite movie of all time is obviously Star Wars, Episode 5, but which rightfully so, that's okay. But if that's like 1A, this is 1B. Like it is without a doubt. Personally for me, like it's my favorite sequel of all time. I think it is the best development off of a previous movie that we've ever gotten, and I'm pumped for 3 as we've been talking about. But I know you kind of agree with what I've been saying too.
Look, you said everything perfectly about the movie, and then how about the experience in theaters when you saw it?
Oh,
If you
dude,
didn't go see that movie in theaters, I don't know what to tell you because
sucks. Yeah,
it is just it
dude.
is gorgeous. It is a gorgeous movie. It is so good. And there's some people that make fun of it, like all of it, saying like how good could it look? I mean, the lighting and the way the sand looks at different parts of the day, how it looks more orange, right? When the opening sequence. But let's take, for example, when he's going to fight uh whoever. I can't even the only thing I can think about is the scene where the worms come down and you're like, holy cow, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen on screen. And it looks more, like dry sand yellow, like in that one. You can make sand look good, and he does. He makes it look just like the coolest thing ever. I love that movie. It was an absolute experience.
10 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah,
Like
I think
without it, unquestionably. Like, yeah, I still get chills just thinking about it. I like me and Tyler saw that together, and we were just silent all of the credits. We were just like processing. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, hell of a movie. What were some of your other favorites of the year? I know we both loved Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah,
obviously.
so Deadpool and Wolverine were up there. I mean, if you don't think it's a good movie, it definitely is entertaining. Um, I will tell you one of the ones that surprised me most this year. I don't like musicals. I don't. Like The Greatest Showman is okay. Um,
Yep, that movie gets so much hype, and I just have never
yeah,
loved
it's
it that much
okay.
either.
The songs are, I mean, they just don't. In the Heights is one of the ones that you showed me that I really do like. So there
It's
you
still
go.
my favorite.
But I'll tell you right now, if you have not seen Wicked,
Go see it. So
go
much
see
fun.
it.
So much fun.
Like I I don't even have like when I was sitting there, I was glued to the screen. Like I thought the songs actually made sense. I thought they actually went into the story. It
You moved it
helped with
along.
character development. Instead of a monologue, you get a song, and the songs are actually catchy. It's very like I've never seen the play, so I can't. I know you have. I
I
have.
have.
I just think that it was so entertaining, and I'll tell you right now. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, you will never see two people love their characters more than those two people in that movie.
Oh yeah, dude. No, they definitely handled him with good care and everything. As like for me seeing the play, I honestly in person I didn't love the play. I liked this is obviously just like Act One, part one of it. I enjoyed this part one way more than I enjoyed it watching it on stage. I mean, it works on a stage, but like I think you can kind of see how maybe a lot of that just wouldn't look that good on a stage. Just in my opinion, probably gonna get some hate, but nah. But the movie's unbelievable. I wasn't expecting to like it as much. I just saw it just because I like to go to the movies, and I kind of same with you. Like we didn't really have many expectations. It's not necessarily a movie that's like marketed and advertised for us, but yeah, I saw it. My theater was completely sold out. I was in there with so many women. So many. My theater was packed, and they were kind of singing along and stuff. It was also a pretty good theater experience. Like people literally stood up and clapped at the end. Um, yeah, shout out Wicked. Wicked is a little bit lower on my list, but um, I also saw a whole lot more movies than you did this year. Um,
Enough.
I would
Enough.
say my biggest surprise of the year, it is my number three on the year, and that is Bad Boys: Ride or Die, the fourth installment of the Bad Boys franchise. I did not go into that movie with any expectations other than to just laugh at Martin Lawrence and Will Smith just being stupid, for 2 hours. And man, it is the funniest movie that I've seen in probably 5 years, if not more. Like I saw that with Dad. Our theater was sold out, and the entire theater was just cackling the entire time. I know you haven't seen it. I know you haven't even seen the third one. Whenever you get around to it, you need to. The third one's on something, and I know the new one's on Netflix. That's a legacy movie that you don't really have any expectations for. It's like they're older. It's like this has been done 3 times. Why do we need it? Well, they do it, and I think it's probably the best one of the four. It's a great story. The action is insane. It's up there with like John Wick, levels of like creative action and camera work and things like that. And then on top of that, like it is literally tears streaming down your face funny. Um, so shout out Bad Boys Ride or Die, my biggest surprise of the year. There are a bunch of other good movies and shows this year. Trying to think off the top of my head,
Hey,
Alien.
we'll be remiss not to talk about challengers.
Oh, dude. Yeah, okay. The last 20, 30 minutes of
Did I
Challengers.
did I see that before you?
You did.
Okay,
You did.
so I went with my wife and one of our friends, and I kind of had a feeling of what it was going to be about. Cameron and her friend had never seen the trailer. They just knew Zendaya was in it. Nah, I will say that
It's
I
quite the
think it was
trailer.
I think
Like I
it was
remember that trailer came out, I was like, what?
yeah. I think it is brilliant how the story is told. If you told that in chronological order, it would probably be very boring. But the
Yep.
way they told it out of order, back and forth,
It keeps you
uh,
engaged for
yeah,
sure.
no, like you're bouncing around trying to put it together. And the last 20 minutes with the score,
Oh my God, dude, that
dude,
score, that
dude.
the last literally like the last like 10 minutes of that movie is a masterpiece.
Oh yeah,
Like maybe some of the other parts of the movie kind of drags. Nah, dude, that I was not expecting to like give a crap about that movie. So good. I think that score should be nominated for best score. I literally still listen to it sometimes. I'll turn it on and listen to like that last song.
it's so
You can
catchy.
find it on stream. It's so good.
Yeah,
But yeah, Challengers was sick. Like I said, Alien Romulus. I don't think you ever got around to that, but it's on Hulu. I think you can go watch it. Was sick. The Substance, I think, is like another huge surprise this year. Um, what else came out this year? Looking at my list right here. Quiet Place, Furiosa, Smile 2 was unreal. Insane horror movie. Great year for movies overall.
yeah.
I know you didn't see as many, but we're gonna get those numbers up, pal.
Yeah. And people on here, you know, big life events happening this year. So it was harder to get to the movies, but this year will be a lot better. And I will say that, yeah, I mean, besides Madam Web and It Ends With Us, I mean, there were a lot of good movies this year. There
Dude,
were
no,
not a
there
lot of
really were. Like
movies.
I don't have my letterboxed up, but like I definitely like have way more. movies like at least 2.5, 3 stars above than, below. So
Yeah.
definitely some horrible movies for sure. But like as someone who just loves everything, like there were a lot of really, really good and different
Hmm.
enjoyable movies this year. So
Hmm.
solid years. Good year for TV too. I don't know really how much you watched, but I know a couple standouts for me. The Penguin. I think it's the greatest. I think it's the best uh, series of the year. Probably one of the best seasons of television ever. Colin Farrell's just unreal. What's her name? What's
Uh,
Sophie?
Melody,
Yeah,
Melody.
Kristen Milotti or Christina Milotti.
Yeah.
She's so freaking good, dude. And the guy that plays Vic, like that show is just top to bottom so good. Another show that came out this year that we both loved, I know you watched it, was Fallout. Fallout
Yeah.
was so sick. You never really know what you're going to get with video game adaptations, but God, it was so good. Um, yeah,
They didn't try to take away from like the actual game. They played into like the own story because no Fallout is like the same story that it's left off. They're all new stories, and we know we're getting another season, and that's
yeah.
exciting.
Any other seasons of TV this year that I'm just not really
Well,
thinking
I know
of?
you watch more than me, obviously,
Yeah,
but
I,
I
I
did
watched. I
watch
literally just watched Squid Game season 2. Pretty good.
The
Um,
Bear season 3.
The Bear season 3 came out. Kind of a step down, but still better than most things that come out nowadays.
2 elite episodes.
Oh yeah, I would say like maybe even 3, but yeah, no, really, really good season. Shout out the Bear also for like cranking out a season a year and not
God,
making us wait.
thank God.
Um,
Also, let's get Ayo in as many movies as possible. I love
she's
her.
so good. She's so good. And Jeremy Allen White, bro.
Yeah,
Part of me kind of like I've never watched it. I think you watched it. Part of me wants to go watch Shameless so bad because I know that's kind of where he like started his big like first thing. But
yeah.
yeah, shout out them. So yeah, good year for movies and TV shows, and hopefully we have a pretty good year coming up this year too. So uh, lots to look forward to. So to kind of piggyback off that talk of great year for 2024. Our first review for the podcast, we're going to be talking about Nosferatu, one of the last movies to come out in 2024. I saw it a couple days after Christmas. I know you just saw it like yesterday. Um, we can just jump right into it. Quite the movie, quite the flick. Um, I think both of our expectations going in were like really high. It had been getting an insane amount of hype from critics and audiences on Twitter and everything. And rightfully so. I mean, it's a great cast, and it's almost an even better director. I haven't seen a whole everything that he's done. I've seen The Witch and I've seen The Northman, which is sick. If you haven't seen it,
I've seen The Witch and The Lighthouse.
see, I've not seen The Lighthouse, but The Northman is sick. Um, and then this, so yeah, Robert Eggers, really good kind of up and coming director, I feel like. But I mean, I feel like with this movie, he's kind of like, he's not really up and coming anymore. He's kind of like, hit the limelight a little bit. So, um, yeah, we can just jump right into it. I don't really know what I was expecting with this. I was expecting to be scared. I was expecting some cool cinematography that we've seen from Eggers in the past and some good acting. Um, and I got all of that, but then I got a little bit more of things that I didn't expect. My first thing I want to say about the movie though is good God, the cinematography is so pretty. Oh my God, it's so pretty. It is with the exception of it might even be more so than Dune, but like with the exception of Dune, and like I said, it could be better. I think it's the best shot movie of the year. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The cinematography, the direction, good Lord. That movie is beautiful to look at. And there's literally so many shots in that movie that like could be a painting, like in a museum. Unbelievable. The one that stands out to me specifically is when Nicholas Holt is walking through the woods to the castle.
The
Oh my
Crossroads.
God.
Dude, I was really sitting here and I was like, no way. I was like, there's
Yeah.
no way he did this.
Yeah. But yeah, great cinematography, and like I kind of said at the beginning, we kind of had been hearing that it had some good acting performances, and man, did it deliver. Literally not one bad performance.
No, not
Not
one.
not one. You know, usually with movies like you might get one that's just kind of like, whatever. Nah, every performance was so good. Lily Rose Depp kind of put that movie on her back.
Yeah.
Her and Nick Holt, I guess. Um, can we call Nicholas Holt Nick Holt? I feel like he's earned the right to be called Nick. You know.
Hey, if he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. I'll call him
Yeah.
Nick.
But yeah, Nick Holt and then Skarsgård as Count Orlok. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts there?
So I thought, man, I could say so much about this movie. I thought that we were going to see him later in the film, like his actual makeup. And
Yeah, that's usually
should
how
we
like horror
do?
movies go nowadays.
Should we do spoiler? I mean,
Yes.
okay. So when she is getting possessed for the first time or whatever, and she goes out into the yard, and you see his hand around her throat, and it switches to him. I was like,
Yeah, like
already, and I
already?
was like, he looks hideous.
Yeah.
Can't even
No,
tell it's him.
yeah. No, it's like similar makeup to me, to like Colin Farrell in the Penguin. Like he just disappears behind the makeup and the prosthetics and stuff. And yeah, like you said, I wasn't expecting to see him until later in the movie, with as much hype it had been getting, and they made sure not to show him in any trailers. Like usually with horror movies, you don't see like the big bad until close to the end, usually. And I think that was the exception this year, along with Long Legs. I think like before I saw Long Legs, I wasn't really expecting to see Nick Cage in it as much as he was in it, but he's literally in it like from the beginning. Similar with this with Nosferatu, you get him right at the beginning, and then you get him all throughout, and then you get. I feel like you don't really see him in full form until like a little later, middle towards the third act of the movie, but you get a lot of him. It's pretty gnarly, it's pretty gross, but um, pretty sick. But yeah, no bad acting. Aaron Taylor Johnson, um, and then Emma Corrin. I didn't even know that was her until after I saw the
Yeah.
movie.
I was trying to figure out who it was,
Yeah.
and you're gonna laugh at me, but when I first saw her, I thought it was just the female version of Rami Malek. I was so confused. They were twins. I was like,
That's such a weird comp.
I know. I was like sitting there, I was like, wait, what? Um, I will say that it did have one of my favorite sequences of the whole year. When he arrives at Count Orlok's castle the first time, and they're using the light from the fire to like kind of shed light on what he looks like, but not really. And he's just freaking out because obviously, from his perspective, you could probably see his whole face. And he's, doing all these things around him and stuff like that. I thought the sequence in the castle was just like perfect. I really do. Like,
Nah, dude, Nick Holt was so good in this movie. He really
yeah,
was. I mean, probably his best performance that at least of what I've seen. I haven't seen Juror 2 or The Order, but nah, dude, he was really good too. Because that was a long sequence of him. Like I feel like Lily Rose Depp wasn't really in like the first hour of the
yeah,
movie. Like I
yeah.
kind of it was kind of Nick Holt. Like he was
Yep.
leading the movie for the first 45 minutes to an hour, and man, he killed it. He killed it. Uh, the story, I know we both talked about. For me personally, um, I do think the story kind of dragged a little bit. Um, I don't really know what I wanted out of a Nosferatu movie, but maybe just, I mean, there was some crazy stuff in it, but maybe just like more crazy stuff. I don't know. It had a pretty long, kind of drawn out story, and I feel like it could have been a much shorter movie. That doesn't take away from like the quality of the movie or the acting or like the camera work or anything. I just think the story drags a little bit. I think the writing is a little bit, kind of lackluster there. But I would still give it on Letterboxd. I think I gave it like 4 stars. So I mean, still a great movie. That's the only con I can kind of give it.
So after he leaves the castle and kind of everything's going on to where they're trying to get Orlok to the town or whatever,
Mhm.
there was a lot of stuff where I mean, it
Just it
obviously
was
was
a
important
lot
to
of it was
film.
getting repetitive. Like it was a
Yeah,
lot of
so
weird dream sequences and
yeah, yeah, or nightmare sequences really. But yeah, I think once he I'm trying to think of like where it picked back up, but I can't remember exactly where it picked back up. But I mean, I was invested in the whole story because I was trying to figure it out. I gave it 3.5 stars. I four like I thought about 4 and 3.5 like for the longest time. I just think the middle part, for me personally, that
kind of
doesn't
dragged
take
it down.
away from any of the storytelling, symbolism, whatever. Is just it's hard to rewatch that movie again for the middle part.
Yep.
But if you did like the castle sequence, the final act. Like, I think it's when Willem Dafoe gets involved is when I got reinvested. By the way, can we talk about his title drop in the movie the first time, where he's like staring away from the camera and he's like, he says something about a plague-ridden beast, vampire, Nosferatu. I was like, that was hard. That
Yeah.
was hard.
Nah, shout out Willem Dafoe.
But then he said it like 5 times and it took away from that one.
He's just good in weird movies like this.
Also, shout out Ralph Ineson.
Innocent, bro.
Is he bad
Galactus.
in anything?
That's Galactus, bro.
Is he bad in anything?
No.
Yeah.
Which gives me hope for Fantastic Four. He got
Um.
he's got the voice. He's got that voice.
Okay, so we might as well do this now. How we're gonna have to rate movies on this podcast, and we're not gonna use Letterboxd to do it. Do you want to go on a scale of 10 to 100? Do you want to do
Yeah, 1 to 100. I don't care. We
35?
can do we can do a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, however you want to do it.
Hmm, it's hard.
Everyone does it different. IMDb does it like on a scale from 1 to 10. Lights, camera, Barstool, I know they do 1 to 100. Uh, it's kind of whatever you want to do. I don't know.
Let's do 10.
All right, yeah, scale of 1 to 10. So I gave it 4 stars. So I mean, like, kind of about an eight. I would maybe knock it up a little bit, like at 8.2 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard. I would have to go through like all my movies in the year and like actually rate them
Yeah,
with our scale, but I will start doing that this year
yeah,
if that's how we want to do it now.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like 8.2, and I know you gave it 3.5 stars. I mean, that's still like what? It
Yeah,
could
so
be up
that'd be
there
a
with
7. I'd
seven
probably
to
give it.
7.5.
It would probably be closer to a 7.5. Probably be a
Yeah.
7.5 if I had to rate it.
No, yeah, we can do. That's how we can do our rating scale. So I'll kind of start doing that as well.
So 8.2 for you, 7.5 for
I'll
me.
probably give it like an eight. Yeah, 8.1, 8.2, something like that. Definitely enjoyed it. It was a fun time at the theater. A lot of like gasps in my theater. I don't know if your theater was crowded or you said it was just you, wasn't it?
There were five. Well, initially it was just me. There were 5 people in the theater.
Yeah. See, my theater was packed, and there was a lot of like, you know,
Nice.
I love seeing horror movies in a packed theater sometimes, but
I'm
sometimes it like
scared that
it adds to the experience. Sometimes I feel like,
I'm scared of the dark, so I don't want to be by myself.
oh, put in. But yeah. So we both enjoyed Nosferatu. Very different, great performances. I think a couple of those performances should get nominated. I don't think they will because it's a horror movie. But like, give Lily Rose Depp, Nick Holt, and even like Skarsgård their flowers. Give Robert Eggers his flowers. Like it's a damn good like made movie. It's really well made. Um, and hopefully we start getting like a lot more high quality stuff from directors like that. Um, so I feel like you know a lot of filmmaking has been kind of like watered down over the past couple of years, and I think maybe streaming has something to do with that. But yeah, shout out Nosferatu. It's definitely a work of art. Not for everyone, but if you're wanting
No,
to be shocked,
not
hey,
for
go for it.
everyone.
Hey, he was just a horny guy, you know? I kind of
So,
feel for him.
so is she apparently.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, shout out Nosferatu. I know you didn't see this, but I actually saw them back to back, so I wanted to kind of give my thoughts. So I saw this one first. I saw a Complete Unknown first, and then I saw Nosferatu after it. A complete unnosferatu, if you will. I'll be here all day. Um, a Complete Unknown with Timmy C playing Bob Dylan, Elle Fanning, Monica Barbero, who uh, she's in Top Gun, the remake. The she plays the girl. Um, she's great. Elle Fanning's great, but man, it's Timmy C's movie. It is Timmy C's movie. Um, I don't know much about Bob Dylan. I've never really listened to him. My dad has always loved him. Um, so that's the only reason I kind of knew of him. I didn't know his story or anything. But man, Timmy C, he just like he disappears into this role. His voice, like his hair, and then he did all of the music for it too. And my dad was telling me, like my dad, who's been like a huge Bob Dylan fan forever, like was saying like how how well he was doing and how good it sounded, which is saying a lot. Like someone from an older crowd who loves like his music, saying like it held up. Um, great musical biopic. Starts when he's like super young, like 18 or 19, and kind of goes up until he's like maybe 30. And it's basically just I'm not gonna like spoil the movie. It's not spoilers. It's a true story. But like I would say like the biggest like plot point of the movie is like he kind of wants to. He starts off doing folk music, but he kind of wants to evolve as an artist and kind of be a little more kind of rock and roll almost. So that's like what a lot of the movie is like, internal conflict and then even external conflict with like his managers and sponsors and family and friends. And, everyone's telling him to do this, but he wants to do this. So that's kind of like what the movie's about. I really enjoyed it. It's one of the better musical biopics of the last couple of years, or that I can think of. I can't really think of many. I know there's Bohemian Rhapsody, which we've seen. There's Rocket Man. The Dirt is sick. I think that's one of our favorites for sure. Um, but man, I just can't get over Timothy Chalamet, man. The year he had, the run that he's having right now, and he was on College Game Day, like he's dating Kylie Jenner. Supposedly she's pregnant. Like, man's on a roll. He's just having the year of his life. And rightfully so, bro. He's so likable. Like every interview I see him in, I know you agree with me too. Like he's just the dude right now. Like he's the guy. Um so yeah, I highly recommend everyone see that. I actually rated that one higher on my list than Nosferatu. I'd probably give that movie like an 8.5.
Nice.
Very, very solid. I mean, it's definitely a completely different movie than Nosferatu, much slower paced, more like storytelling and everything. But yeah, no, great movie. I highly recommend. I don't know if you're going to go see it in theaters, but definitely at least when it comes out on streaming, give it a watch. Give that man an Oscar nom.
He needs one.
He needs one for Dune Part Two, if we're being honest here. But
He'll get
no,
one. He'll get one.
huh?
He'll get one. Just depends on the movie.
Yeah, I think he honestly deserves two because good Lord. And the difference in the character and the fact that he did both of them so well is just crazy to me. But um, that's just kind of my thoughts on A Complete Unknown. Um, so yeah, that kind of brings us actually to the last part of this pod. Um, like we said, 2024 was a great year for movies and TV, but I think 2025 could be even better. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year, man. There's so much stuff. There's a lot of good TV shows and series finales and just everything in between. Um, we got so many superhero movies. We got Mission Impossible. We got um, um, Avatar. It's just so much stuff. So, what we want to do, we thought it would be fun, is we're going to do a little draft, a little competition here, and draft our most anticipated movies for this year. I actually have a list printed out next to me of everything, so that's what I'll kind of be like looking over at. But I know you have the list as well. But basically, we're just going to do 5 picks each. And then might make a graphic to post and kind of see like what people think. But yeah, I just thought this would be a fun little thing to do. I think doing drafts from time to time um, will be fun things that we can do. Um, so yeah, uh, you know what, man? I'll give you first pick. You
Oh,
go.
I'm
I
gonna
did
get
not.
first pick.
Yeah, and obviously, yeah. I mean, I'm just such a gentleman, you know. Yeah, I'll give you first pick. We'll do a snake draft. So like then I'll pick two. I'll actually write them down next to me. Just so we can keep track of them.
Okay.
But
I was
yeah,
actually,
let's
this sucks
hear.
because I was actually getting ready to have the second pick because I actually had no idea what you were going to go with first pick, but I guess I have first pick.
My
So,
first pick is definitely not going to be yours. I don't think.
okay. All right. All right, first one comes out towards the end of the year, and the first one I I told you is not. I don't think it's like. I think it's good. I don't think it's elite. The second one, however, is breathtaking, gorgeous, great story, beautiful. The third one comes out this year, and it's Avatar, Fire and Ash. So that's going to be my number one. And I love the second one. We saw it together. Did we see? I think we did. I don't know who I saw it with. If it
I
wasn't
don't
with you,
know.
it was
I
over
don't think
Christmas break. It had to
it
have been
was.
with you.
Who knows? Yeah, but anyway,
But
good Lord, great movie. The second one was so good.
the second one is just unbelievable. And I expect James Cameron and the third one to be just as good, and it's going to make a insane amount of money. So that's going to be my most anticipated. It comes out at the end of the year, so I'll be waiting all year for this. But remember when the second one came out, I said it had the potential to be my movie of the year for all of it to get like put together. The third one does as well. So
Yep. Yep. And like it's gonna have like a Fire Nation kind of
yeah,
version of the Navi in it. Like, bro, we had water, now we got fire. Let's go. Let's get all the elements. I
all of them.
honestly did not. I don't think I knew what you were gonna go with, but I don't think that it was gonna. I didn't think it was gonna be that. I know you weren't gonna pick my movie. So my movie is part of a franchise, which I don't think you love as much as me. I don't even think
I
you saw the last one.
I know what it is.
I don't even think you saw the last one, but my God, the last one was, I think, whatever year that was 2023. It was my number, I think it was my number two or three movie of the year. Um, and that is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Just my God, Tom Cruise is the man. I don't even think you can really like dispute that. Whether you love the Mission Impossible movies or not, like I feel like no one is doing it like Tom Cruise in regards to like blockbuster level movies. Um, he's always been there and he's going to continue to be the guy until he's dead. Like he literally puts his uh his life on the line like every single one of these movies. Um, which is crazy. It blows my mind that you haven't seen the last one, which was what was it? Dead Reckoning,
Hmm.
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Have you seen all the ones up until the newest one?
Um,
I know you've probably seen the first three or four.
I think I've seen the first four.
The fourth one is Ghost Protocol, and then it's Rogue Nation, Fallout, um, Dead Reckoning, and then this one is the Final Reckoning. They're saying it could be the last, but I don't believe that with Tom Cruise. He's not going to stop doing these movies until he dies. And I just want to see what crazy stunts he pulls off this time. He's done some insane stuff. His motorcycle stunt. I know you didn't even see the movie, but you've definitely seen the clips. Like his
Oh
motorcycle stunt
yeah.
in the last movie was unreal. And like even as much as you had seen clips of it, like leading up to the movie, experiencing that on the big screen, like watching it in a crowd full of people the first time was like,
When you look up Adrenaline Junkie, it's just a picture of Tom Cruise.
oh yeah, no, it's insane. And people are saying like cast members and things are saying that his like big stunt for this one is like just takes the cake. So I really wish you liked those movies more so I could talk to you about them more. But that's just personal preference thing. I've always loved those movies. I love Tom Cruise. Maybe not the greatest human being, but I think he's one of the greatest actors and probably the greatest like action movie star of all time. I don't even think it's like close. Um, I don't know. Maybe you could put like Harrison Ford up there too, but no, Tom Cruise is like he's one of one. Shout out Tom Cruise. Can't wait for Mission Impossible. I think that comes out in like, what is it? I have the list right here.
May
Uh,
23rd.
May 23rd. May 23rd. So yeah, not as far away as Avatar. And since we're doing a snake draft, I get second pick. Haha, screw you. I was kind of going back and forth between a couple for this pick. But I kind of want to win the draft, so I'm gonna pick a more popular movie that I'm stoked for, but just wanted to include this on my list, because maybe not a lot of people care about Mission Impossible as much as me, and I'm gonna go with Fantastic Four, uh,
It,
First Steps. Cast is insane. Fantastic Four is like one of the coolest stories in comics. Um, yeah, I mean that's really all I can say. I know we said like Captain America, the new Captain America is kind of like a lot's riding on it to like kind of carry Marvel forward, but I also think this movie kind of has a lot of weight on it as well. It's like one of Marvel's biggest assets that they haven't really put in the MCU yet, and I think they're gonna be a huge leading factor in all of the movies going forward. Like Doomsday is literally Doom is like their villain. Um, they're obviously probably gonna be in that and Secret Wars and whatever else. So stoked for Fantastic Four. I like we talked about Ralph Ineson earlier as Galactus is a great pick. Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Eben Moss Bacharach, and Joe Quinn. That is an insane cast. I'm pumped for it. I know it comes out in like it's the last Marvel movie of the year. It's like July. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Fantastic Four First Steps. Um, and I will swing it on over to you. See if you can top that.
so for my second pick, I'm gonna go opposite of Marvel, and I'll go DC. And
Oh,
this is no surprise. Superman, I think has to be on here because this is James Gunn's DC now. We got a trailer. I mean, I think it's a good trailer. I think it looks good. It's colorful. And if you can write like we don't have to see his origin story again. We've seen it, like you said, plenty of times in TV shows or in movies. So we've seen it. Um, I think this one's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a more a good take on Superman. Hopefully, what we've seen is early in the movie. I think me and you are kind of nervous that maybe they're trying to do too much with Green Lantern and Mister Terrific and
yeah, I know
all
we didn't really
them.
talk about that earlier. It scares me a little bit that they're like jumping into so much so fast, but I trust James Gunn. So,
Because I mean, all of these characters might have been there before Superman, got was made Superman. So we'll see. I think it's going to be good. I have high hopes. I think Superman's a great character to start a franchise with or a universe with, and he's going to do it his way, and I like that. And he hasn't missed, in my opinion, yet. So we will see.
yep, good
Um,
pick.
for my third pick, I could have gone a couple different places with this, kind of looking through it. I could have gone like an original movie, which this one will probably get picked. I could have done a franchise thing, um, and I think I'm gonna end up doing that. However,
I think I know what it
can
might be.
can we not agree that this is the greatest trailer that came out this past year?
And then I know exactly what it is. Yeah, nah, it's sick.
28 years later might be the greatest trailer I've ever seen.
It's up there.
And that's going to be my third pick. 28 Days Later is still one of my favorite zombies movies ever. And the opening sequence is amazing. Also, I wouldn't last very long with those zombies running after me either.
I mean, I don't last
Um,
long, period. So,
I'm
um,
excited to see what they do. If they made it
also,
look like the trailer, if it like, I mean, was your heart not racing during that trailer?
oh, dude, like, no, it's like a legit, like, scary trailer.
Yeah,
I've seen it on the big screen, I think twice now, and like, it's scary.
yeah, no,
It's
it
actually
is.
scary. I've never seen the second one. I don't know if you had. I know I'm pretty sure it's got Jeremy Renner. I've never seen it, but yeah, the first one is like iconic. And I don't know if you knew, but this one is supposed to be like the start of a trilogy. And the next 28 days later comes out. Wait, it's on this list in January of next year. They've already filmed it and everything. It's called The Bone Temple.
Yeah, no.
So
Sign me up. 28 years later, sign me up. I'm there. I'm ready to go. That's my third pick.
Okay, that's not what I thought you were going to pick, especially when you were talking trailers. We'll talk about what I thought that was going to be in a minute. But no, that is a great trailer. I thought you were going another way with that. Um, so yeah, I definitely know what my third pick is going to be.
Your oh
Spinoff
yeah,
movie.
spinoff.
Spinoff. Spinoff. Wait,
Oh
third
yeah,
movie?
yeah. That's it. No, it's yeah. Your third.
That's my third pick. Spinoff movie for a franchise that we both
Damn
freaking
you.
love,
Damn you.
and that is Ballerina. Ballerina from the world of John Wick, Ana de Armas. John Wick's in it. Dude, what more could you want? Like, I absolutely cannot wait. Um, she's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
I feel like we got a taste of it in the most recent James Bond,
Yep.
but like now that she's getting her whole entire like crazy action flick, like I'm in. I can't wait. She's so hot. Keanu Reeves is the dude. Like, and it's got Chad Stahelski. He's kind of returning to help with a lot of it. So yeah, pumped for Ballerina. Um, I knew that you were probably gonna take that, so I had to take it.
I hate you.
Um, but yeah, shout out John Wick. That comes out in like what, June, early June, looks like. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, stoked for that. Stoked for that. So pick number four. I'm looking at this list right here. There's a lot. There's a lot of good movies coming out this year. So like not really a bad pick. Um, okay, I know what I'm gonna go, and it's the original movie that I thought you were gonna pick. I thought you were gonna pick it when you picked 28 Days Later.
Let's hear it.
Also had one of the coolest trailers I've ever seen, and that is Sinners
Oh yeah.
with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld's in it. I honestly don't really know who else is in it, but
I think the girl from the
Ryan
what's her
Coogler
name?
directed,
The
like
holdovers. What's her name?
Divine Joy Randolph.
I thought she was in it.
I don't know. Movie looks sick though. I think it's kind of like a vampire movie, but like that gives the trailer gives nothing away,
I literally have no idea.
but it's also still terrifying. Um, Michael B. Jordan's playing two characters. Yo, I'm in. Let's get it.
Yep.
An original movie. I don't know if it's based on a book or anything, but like it's something not franchise related. I feel like literally everything that we've picked up to this point is franchise related. This is like an
Yeah.
original movie. Ryan
Yep.
Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, like the dynamic duo. They've done the Creeds, they've done Black Panther. Like they work well together. They always make magic, and it's kind of a horror movie. Like I'd sign me up. Cannot wait for Sinners. I think that comes out in like March or April. Comes out in April. So yeah, I'm gonna take Sinners with my fourth pick, and that brings me to my last pick.
Oh, that would have
Uh,
been no,
Wait,
because
no. That brings you to your next pick. Go
yeah, I
for it.
got I
All right,
got
so
two in
you
a
get
row.
your two last picks.
All right, so all right, I'm gonna go an original as well. And I'm gonna go. It comes out March. Got Robert Pattinson in it. Bong Joon-ho is directing. Is that right?
Yep.
Mickey 17. I think that first of all, Robert Pattinson as like on the run he's been lately. I mean, he's been great. So I him as a lead besides the Batman, he's actually getting the like not he's not in a suit, he's not concealed, he's Bong Joon-ho, by the way, doesn't get enough love either, I feel like. I mean,
I'll do.
does he have any like awards? I'm sure he does.
Yeah, no, he for Parasite.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and I think I watched Parasite before you did and kind of told you that it was a great movie and it got a bunch of love. Mickey 17, I want to go back and rewatch the trailer that you sent me because I watched it the first time, but I think I was doing something else. And it's an original movie. I think it's going to be very cool. And Robert Pattinson is awesome, and I love
Looks like a
him.
fun time for sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick an original movie as well. And then the second one,
Your final pick.
I kind of wanted to do an animated movie, but I'm probably not going to end up doing that.
I'm looking at this list, and there's really not a ton of animated movies. At least
Oh,
I
I'll
didn't.
tell you. I'll tell you. the first one I loved, so I guess I'll do another sequel. The first one I loved, and it's a horror film as well. I think it's very, very good. What's his name? Don't tell me. Ethan Hawke. Yeah. As the
Oh,
bad guy, the
yep.
villain. I'm gonna do the Black Phone too. I thought that one was so unique and so good. And I know we saw that one together, me,
Yep.
you, and Avery. I just enjoyed it so much. It was so different, and some of the scares in it were just like perfectly placed, and him using the other kids to find a way out. Just such a good concept. I loved Ethan Hawke's character. And it's really unique in my opinion. Like a lot of kidnapping movies are kind of the same, but now he gets a phone down there and he can talk to the past kids that were in there to help him. And there were some creepy shots in that movie too. So I'm gonna do Black Phone 2 for my last one. Probably won't make as much money as any of the ones we've said, but I really
Oh
did
yeah. I
the
mean, no, I
first
don't think like Sinners really will either, but like yeah. No, Black Phone one was lit, and I'm excited for the second one. I'm curious to see how they continue the story though, because didn't he die? I guess I don't really remember. It's been a minute since we've seen it, but yeah, great
one.
movie.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Um, so yeah, there's your last pick, and I'll go over the list after we're done as well. But for my final pick, I'm sitting here looking. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of good movies coming out this year. But I'm gonna go one that is a pretty long gap since we've seen the previous one. Um, and that is Tron Ares. We don't know like hardly much about this movie, other than Jared Leto's in it, which he's hit or miss sometimes, but I think he's been a good actor in some stuff. I think he can kind of fit into that world well, like dystopian, futuristic, sci-fi. Like I don't know, I don't know what to expect. I love Tron Legacy. I know it gets a lot of hate, but I think visually, like it's one of the best sci-fi movies still of the last like 20 years, probably ever. It's so pretty to look at. Jeff Bridges, kills it. I think he might be returning for this one if I saw correctly. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I love Tron Legacy. I don't love the original Tron like my dad does, obviously, because like he grew up during that era. But Tron Legacy's sick, and I'm excited for Tron Ares. Kind of something different, not superhero-y, but still kind of a part of a franchise. Um, so yeah, give me Tron Ares, and that will round out my list. There's a lot of honorable mentions. I'm sure you got some. I'll name a couple. I know one for both of us is F1. Like we are both pumped for that movie. That movie's gonna slap. The How to Train Your Dragon live action, pumped for that. We've already talked about Captain America. What are some of yours?
Well, we got The Accountant 2 next year.
Yes.
We have the Thunderbolts as well.
Yep.
New Jurassic World movie, very interesting there. A new Saw movie.
Yep. I had
New,
Saul written down as
Now
well.
You See Me 3.
Now you see me three.
We like
Um,
those, and then Zootopia 2 also comes out,
yep.
and I really like the first one.
Another one that I'm pumped for that actually comes out kind of relatively soon is The Monkey. Looks
Oh
like a
yeah,
really creepy, weird horror movie from the
yeah.
director of Longlegs. It's based on a Stephen King short story. So, and there goes Kylo. All right, so to end up our list, you went with Avatar: Fire and Ash, Superman, 28 Years Later, Mickey 17, and Black Phone 2. Really solid list. I'm pumped for all those. And then I went with Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, Fantastic Four: First Steps, Ballerina, Sinners, and Tron Ares.
Yeah.
Like we said, lots of great stuff coming out this year. We are pumped. Hopefully, you see some more movies. We're definitely gonna be talking a lot of movies and a lot of movie news this year. So stay tuned. Hope you guys are excited. Looking forward to everything that comes. And you're the one with the professional outro skills. Like, subscribe. What else am I missing?
Yeah, like, subscribe, give us a follow. We'll put our letterbox down there. We'll put our Twitter. We'll put everything down there. Make sure to like and subscribe, and then comment what you want to see, any questions you want answered, all of that, bro. We got it.
We got you. Not sure what the next movie will be, but should have an episode out in the next week or two. So y'all look forward to that, and
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in.
Peace out.